Hi, my name is Celine Sophie in Fulfillment for Research Methods Fall 2022. My research essay is about the effects of poverty on juvenile delinquency in Memphis, Tennessee. Let's go to the next slide. My abstract, this paper explores the social and psychological impacts of poverty on children up to juvenile age in Memphis, Tennessee. Poverty has detrimental effects on an individual's mental and physical health. So, as far as the criminal justice system goes, it does not consider a child's background typically and how they become criminalized. Poverty can affect somebody's mental health detrimentally and physically, therefore causing delinquency. Research shows that poverty has been a major factor in criminal behavior in juveniles. Sociology and psychology will give evidence to the effects of poverty on troubled minors. Sociology predicts that minors that come from a stable middle-class home are surrounded by encouragement to grow into successful adults, while poor children are not typically. Psychologically, negative mental stability in a poor society enhances criminality. And for the introduction, we have a juvenile delinquent is defined as a young person below age 18 who commits criminal acts. In the city of Memphis, Tennessee, the child poverty rate is higher than the overall poverty rate. This leads to vulnerability to become adult offenders. So typically, if a minor is committing criminal acts, serious crimes, typically by the time they're older, they'll still be committing crimes. It'll be recidivism. So that just creates chaos for adults and causes crime in the adult world. So yeah, poverty causes delinquency in individuals. Children are typically a product of their environment. So if one is to grow up in an environment of poverty and see robbery going on, the selling of narcotics, abuse, domestic violence, murder, all of that stuff that goes on day to day in poverty, typically children pick up traits of adults, so that goes hand in hand. Social science may be able to come up with a solution to the problem by correctly identifying the root causes of juvenile crime. The rising crime rate is a reason why juvenile delinquency in the city of Memphis is worthy of investigation, because crime in general in Memphis is going up by a lot. Children grow up to become a product of their environment unless they're isolated from that environment. Impoverished parents are more likely to abuse drugs, work long hours, and be absent in their children's lives. So, absent parent in their children's lives gives a child way too much freedom in order to go out and do whatever they want with whoever friends the parent may not even know of, and actually they can be rolling around with adults who are offenders, who are criminals, and carrying on the same traits that they're carrying on. A parent who raises a child in poverty has more responsibility in keeping their child safe, first of all, because that child is already prone to being in criminal acts. So, for the literature review, while in the present day, troubled minors come from any economic status in Memphis, in the early 20th century, juvenile delinquency emerged mostly from kids that grew up in poor homes. These days, some kids, they want to act like criminals. They think that stuff is glamorized, but back in the day, it was frowned upon, and it was mainly impoverished kids who were acting of that sort. And the first juvenile court to open in Memphis, Tennessee was in January 1910. And in that court, Well, one of the first acts before they opened the court to prevent delinquency was the Shelby County Industrial and Training School. And later, reformers intended that they just need to establish a juvenile court, and the court system would not label these delinquencies as criminals unless they were not capable of reformation. And also the citizens of Memphis complained that black youth was being set free while the white was being detained. So they declared a separate detention center for the blacks. As far as that goes, that was not true. It was actually the other way around, but they just wanted the blacks to have a separate court than the whites. So even in the 21st century, impoverished people are still mainly people of color today. Disorderly conduct in minors are associated with characteristics of the family. So a strong support family system, a good family that comes from good acting people, not criminal behavior. Mainly the kids will take up after their parents. Hardworking parents can create hardworking children. For my methodology, the population concerns children under 18 years old who have been involved in criminal activities leading them to jail. On August 2022, the Memphis police announced the first arrest, which involved the arrest of a 10-year-old boy. After an investigation was carried out concerning the issue, another set of children was taken into custody simultaneously, claiming that they had committed a crime of the same kind. Memphis crime rates are very high in general, and there is existing data on this. According to the most recent data from the FBI, the total crime rate in Memphis is 7,912 per 100,000 people. As far as the children's population is affected by how they have been brought up. In most cases, these children are brought up with issues to do with poverty, leading to them feeling that they need to depend on themselves for them to feel as if they are participating. There is a rising rate of juvenile crime rates, which increases the need for police to engage to investigations in the city of Memphis. The only thing that can be done is to try and get a relationship between the cases existing concerning the children who are ending up in juvenile. Juvenile charges raised by almost 200 from 2020 to 2021 in Memphis. And this is mainly serious crimes too, done by juveniles. For my conclusion, this author asserts that juvenile crime can be primarily an outcome of poverty. If poverty issues in Memphis were solved, future generations would likely be saved from criminality. If they solve the poverty issue, then when the children will grow up to, then when they have kids, their kids will grow up in a good, stable home, and it would just create future of good, hardworking, successful, most likely successful children. This is significant because starting at a young age, it's important to be on the right track, and the stigma of Memphis being so treacherous can be forgotten. Memphis is known as a very treacherous city, and if they take care of their poverty problems, it will treat the fact that minors are causing all these criminal acts, and usually if a minor is committing those criminal acts, they will become adult offenders. So therefore, if they take care of that problem, we will no longer have as many minors creating criminal acts because they grow up in a stable environment, good environment. This would have to be in the future generations so that everybody can grow up and lead on to their own lives. And these are my references. That's it. Thank you so much for your time.